The pain and uncertainty Kyle Fleischmann's parents live with every day is almost too much to endure.
The fact that he's not with us any longer and having to accept that the rest of your life is very, very hard.
Their oldest son, Kyle, just 24 at the time, went out for a night of fun in Charlotte, North Carolina, and has never been seen or heard from again.
I believe that something bad happened to Kyle, but what exactly happened, whether it was an accident, whether there was malicious intent, or who knows what.
That fateful night started here at the Buckhead Saloon. Investigators say Kyle meets a young woman and is later seen in a heated discussion with two of her male friends. Surveillance video then captures Kyle walking out alone, without his coat and debit card. Minutes later, this newly released surveillance video shows Kyle walking toward Fuel Pizza. From there, police used cell phone records to map the locations of 8 sporadic calls Kyle made between 2:40 a.m. and 3:28 a.m. They reveal he was heading toward trouble.
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, very late at night.
Just outside of town, on the other side of this bridge, lies Cordelia Park. It's a haven for drug dealers, but also the stomping ground for what many believe to be America's most notorious gang, MS-13. So how did Kyle end up in this dangerous area?
Kyle left the bar. He went to grab a slice of pizza. That makes perfect sense to me. From there, if he just wandered off, that doesn't jive well with me. I feel like Kyle was, if he was walking somewhere, it was to try and find a cab.
Maybe Kyle was searching for a ride, so investigators blast his picture to every cab company in Charlotte. They quickly get a hit.
We did get some information from a cab driver that stated he saw Kyle walking down that street, which was going in the wrong direction of town in his opinion.
The driver confirms Kyle was headed toward Cordelia Park, so police launch a massive manhunt in the area, but it turns up empty.
The first thing that ran through our mind was nothing good. Nothing good can come of this.
With Kyle now missing for days, the Fleischmanns reach out for a different kind of help.
They asked us if there was anything we could do to help them, so we loaded up the dogs and came up here and did what we could.
Mike Craig runs Public Safety Dogs, Inc., an elite team of dogs trained to sniff out missing persons.
We first went to Kyle's house when we got here, spoke to the parents, and they had retrieved his coat that he wore and left at Buckhead Saloon.
Mike then uses a specialized machine like the one in this training video, called the Scent Transfer Unit, to isolate Kyle's body scent.
We actually vacuumed his scent off of the inside of his coat and were able to use that scent material to track him. Brings back a lot of memories.
Mike and dog trainer Linda Dunn are retracing their search for Kyle, exclusively for Crime Watch Daily.
I got AAA, my bloodhound, out first and gave her Kyle's scent, gave her her start command, and she took off.
Linda and 888 head past Fuel Pizza toward some railroad tracks. Then Linda vividly remembers her dog doing an odd jog in a big circle.
When I'm working with my dogs on a trail, I can picture in my mind what the person is doing. It always makes me wonder, why they did that loop like that. Was Kyle looking for something? Did he feel like maybe somebody was following him and he was trying to hide? The possibilities are endless, but it makes my mind race.
To make sure AAA hasn't just lost Kyle's scent, Linda unloads a second dog to see if she picks up the same trail.
And I got my German Shepherd, Callie, out, gave her Kyle's scent article, gave her the opportunity to decide which direction she wanted to go. And she took off and went the same way that AAA had gone.
All of Mike's dogs are equipped with GPS monitoring collars, so they are able to lay both dogs' routes onto a map.
The blue is AAA, the bloodhound, who went first, and the green is Callie, my shepherd, who went second.
Their routes are nearly identical. By now, the dogs are exhausted, so they retire for the night. But not Mike. On the streets, he befriends a homeless man living under an overpass, a man who may lead him straight to Kyle.
People spoke to us that would not speak to the police. I actually talked to a gentleman over by one of the homeless shelters, and he told me that Kyle had been killed over at the park, and he does not know where his body was taken to.
The next night, Linda and AAA begin their search at Cordelia Park. The dog immediately takes trail.
My conclusion, based on my knowledge of my dog, is that Kyle was in this park.
But before they find any solid proof, Mike is forced to call off the dogs.
It was overrun with drug dealers at the time. It turned into kind of a dangerous situation for us is when we ended the search that night.
So early the next morning, Linda and the dogs head back to the park. This time, Kyle's scent leads them toward a construction site.
And as soon as I hit that curb, I smelled the odor of death. I ran all over this huge lot like a crazy person, trying to locate the source of that odor because I knew that it was something that was dead. I'm not a cadaver dog. I can't tell the difference between a dead cat, a dead dog, a dead skunk, a dead human, but I knew that the odor of death was here.
As the wind would blow and change directions, you could catch that faint odor, but we couldn't pinpoint where it was.
At the time, the construction site was massive mounds of fresh dirt, the perfect place to hide a body.
We're 200 yards from the park right now. So, that was what we were afraid of, is if he had been killed over there, burying him over here would have been easy. Everything was open and ready. All they had to do was fill it in.
It was my gut feeling that day, and it is still my gut feeling today, that at some point, for some period of time, Kyle was buried here on this lot.
Linda and the dog spend several heart-wrenching days searching through piles of dirt.
When we finally left this vacant lot, I looked at Mike and I said, this place is going to haunt me for a really long time. And it still does.
Law enforcement would eventually bring in their own cadaver dogs to search the construction site. They use ground-penetrating radar and poking sticks to check every pile of dirt resembling a fresh grave. They too uncover nothing. Within months, developers build an apartment complex on the site, possibly burying any clues and all hope of finding Kyle.
The most challenging and the hardest thing to stomach with this is the unknown. When you've lost someone, you want to mourn them and you want to be able to move on and have that closure, and we don't have that today.
Everybody has a theory as to what happened to Kyle that night.
Kyle was a victim of opportunity, just a crime of opportunity.
I think they probably tried to rob him and just unfortunately got out of hand, took his life.
Who knows what? I'm not sure, but I do think that we lost Kyle that night.
The police and the Fleischmann still have faith that one day someone will step forward with information that will lead them to Kyle.
I do have a promise to him. I'll never stop giving up to find out who took his life away.
But for now, it's baby steps on an awfully long road to healing.
We're living life as best we can, and God willing, someday we'll reconnect in some shape or form.
That's what I miss. I miss it all. I miss everything about him.
Someone out there knows what happened to Kyle, and right now there's a $50,000 reward for information that helps solve this cold case. You can submit a tip by going to our website, crimewatchdaily.com, or you can call or text us 24 hours a day at our tip line. That number is 1-844-800-CRIME.